into the goods from the woods. My name is Rivers Langley.
I'm Sam Harder.
And I'm Carter Glasscock.
And today we are so pleased to be joined by our friend. She is a writer. She is a comedian. She is delightful. Give it up for
Emily Fleming.
Welcome, Emily. Hey now.
Hi.
How's everybody's week going? I'm currently dog sitting in Venice.
Ooh, yeah. I'm going to Venice tonight.
Oh, man.
Okay.
You know, there's a lot of windows in the place that I'm dog sitting, and it's nice, except that at night you get to hear all the scary sounds of Venice. So,
Are you going to put them on the glass?
what's that? My tits?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I've been.
put 'em
You
on
go to press some ham? Yeah.
Yeah. We call that raising the flag in Venice. That's
okay.
That's how we.
I didn't know you
Wait,
were like
what?
a proper Venice.
That's how we hang loose. Yeah, we put our boobs on the glass to greet the dog.
Of like a bus or what?
No, the apartment.
windows.
Yeah.
Oh, out the windows.
Yeah, we got
Of the bus?
We got
Wait, what? What goes on in Venice?
we gotta
what has windows?
we gotta freak out the squares, man.
Man, what time of day do they do this?
Is there like a schedule or?
In the morning, everyone's pressing 10 against the windows? What?
12 titty.
But I had my car just like parked outside because it doesn't fit in the very tiny garage that we have there, and so
That's what all the guys say.
yeah, you know, it's terrible. But I at the middle of the night, just I'm like already thinking like, oh god, I hope nobody breaks into my shit. And then about 3 o'clock, the dog starts going crazy, and there's a guy downstairs just going, no. And there's like a police helicopter circling. Like I just woke up. And
His reign of terror has come to an end. Yeah, they've caught him. So,
Can I ask what kind of a dog it is?
Tiny, looks to be like a Chihuahua. With,
all right.
maybe
a yip.
It's got it's not that yippy though. It's got kind of like a Doberman's head, so it's like some kind of mix.
A min pin.
Yeah, I don't even know if that's what it is, but it's
Okay.
It's not that yappy. So when it was
Woof woof.
it's a woof woof, and when woof woof was going crazy, I just woke up and helicopters and a man screaming no. So
It's just like at this apartment 6 months ago.
well, that's the thing is I live in the the lucky part of this apartment that doesn't face the street. We face the courtyard over here. So Sam,
there's battle units and then there's safe units.
we're the Eloy, you're the Morlock. You get the access to the street. I don't actually have to hear all the scary stuff that goes on here. So
There's been a time before when I was like, I'm gonna stop looking out the window because I'm gonna be the witness to a murder. I just don't want to have.
You don't have time. You have time to go to court.
No, I don't want that.
no one's got time for that shit.
No. I'm not dropping dimes.
Yeah,
No.
either a murder or, as I've talked about, my favorite thing, which is when they get the dart board and hang it on the stop sign and play darts.
That's just good old.
That's
fun.
just good fun.
That's just being innovative. Yeah.
But
The cops had to come crack down on the murders and dart games.
I know. It's a shame.
Have the streets been hot lately?
No, they've been not.
No,
It's been turned back into a dumping ground. There's just somebody dumped a bunch of broken glass.
Well, clearly you don't have the Citizen app.
Oh, we do.
Oh, we did.
Oh, you do?
Oh, absolutely.
Having it during the pandemic was
Oh
fun.
my God! There were two different dudes in Joker costumes with like brandishing a pipe,
Yeah.
and I love that they used the word brandishing.
Brandishing.
It was like somebody went to theater school and saw both of these things. It was like, Citizen app. I have something to report.
A man dressed as Napoleon is brandishing a crack pipe and yelling on guard.
Thou art Montague, Joker.
Come down from thine ivory tower and face me, coward.
I have a scimitar. On guard.
I did on one time. There was a update on a Citizen during the pandemic that said man using skateboard as weapon.
Oh, weaponized stick.
Weaponized stick.
Honestly, if I had a live stand-up show, I would report it onto the Citizen app on purpose.
So-
Like a live, fabulous show.
So
I've tried that. They don't let you do it.
They don't?
No.
Well, so
Did you say brandishing comedy?
brandishing a razor sharp wit.
I legit filmed a video of a guy getting detained at a restaurant right outside from an open mic, and in the comments, and I was live, and I was saying people should come to the open mic
to see the guy get arrested.
Yeah. And then the Citizen app started deleting all the comments about people going there.
Oh, man.
So
they're narcs
shot.
at the Citizen app. They're a bunch of narcs and cops.
Not cool.
There was for a long time. The show still happens. There's a professional wrestling show that goes on across the street at the Ukrainian Cultural Center.
For real?
It's called GCW runs shows there, and for a long time, some hilarious person used to post anytime they had a show. It just said "men fighting at Ukrainian Cultural Center," and I was like, "That's fucking hilarious." But I haven't seen it in a
better
long time.
one. You
guys got to let me know when that's happening. I would absolutely love to come.
Oh, you got to come to. We do our show quasi monthly in Burbank, Wrestling Pro Wrestling. So yeah, there's
Rivers is a commentator.
Yeah.
For this.
I am there.
We had our event on Thursday night, Russellmania, Russell Crowe Wrestling. Parentheses, Russell Crowe will not be wrestling. And
Are they just dressed as every character?
yeah, well, at the
Russell
end,
Crowe?
we had the guy in a dress with the boxing gloves for Cinderella Man. We had,
my God.
we had
Can I be a character that before they,
the answer is yes.
elbow drop, go 5, 4, 6, 2, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
Just saying like a million numbers.
Yeah. Well, we had about 12 Maximuses. We had a Beautiful Mind, which was just a guy with he had a beauty sash and a giant brain.
You just got a chalkboard out there and some yarn for him.
Right.
No nice guys.
I think we made mention of the.
I'll tell you, for the bigger boys, you might need to. You can be a nice guy.
You need something that the cheap
I
seats
love
can
that
see.
movie.
Yeah,
Oh, it's so awesome.
that's his best
Such
one.
a good movie.
But yeah, we had this whole Russell Crowe themed show, and then I'm at WrestleMania, and one of the matches was sponsored by his new movie, and it began with him on screen talking about like the combat and battle and shit. I was like, literally, Russell Crowe is here. Like after we just did this thing.
Oh my God.
And we have wrestling mascots, and that happened over the WrestleMania
They dress
weekend.
up like they were in Body of Lies.
Yeah. So at WrestleMania, there was a guy dressed up as a giant bottle of Logan Paul's Prime energy drink, and he got thrown through a table. And so I was like, they're just ripping our shit off left and right.
I do think this is kind of keeping wrestling alive for the newer generation, the Jake Paul stuff.
Oh, Logan Paul.
Who cares?
I mean,
Yeah, they're one
I like
sentient
that
being. Yeah.
there's a spare in case one of them
oh yeah.
bites the dust. Like it's like, we gotta
in case
another one in the chamber.
in case one of them parachutes too much fentanyl or something, and the other one,
Oh fuck.
then the other one gets to wrestle.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're real villains. Like,
Oh, yeah.
in real life, and it's like, the villains that I'm not a huge fan. I haven't I'm a poser when it comes to wrestling. I am interested in it. I want to learn more about it. I would love to go to WrestleMania at some point.
Yeah, it's a fun time.
But yeah, I'm pretty new to all of it, but I do think it's pretty cool that there's these influencers that are getting involved with it. Can you guys update me on what's going on with Jake Gyllenhaal in all of this wrestling stuff?
So he's doing a UFC movie.
Yeah.
And I think that he was like, I'm so method. I'm going to actually UFC fight for a minute.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Right? Like, that was like...
Yeah, they
'cause
had him like film at a UFC event. So
Okay, I thought he was doing the reboot of Roadhouse.
So that's what they were filming for. The backstory is that his version of Dalton, we're assuming he's Dalton still, but his version of Dalton is like a former UFC guy.
Cool.
As opposed to the world's most famous bouncer, he's like a guy who's famous as a UFC guy. I suppose they bring him in to manage the Roadhouse.
He's like a shamed version of that, and then he becomes a bouncer.
I don't know. Do we need like a close to reality version of Roadhouse?
We don't need another Roadhouse. It's the perfect film. It is literally
really
unimpeachable.
And it's honestly one of the most graphic movies I've ever seen.
Yeah,
and if you don't know who Sam Elliott is, his politics aside,
and mustache.
Jesus Christ, what a smoke show.
Well, the mustache has perfect politics.
I mean,
it accepts accepts everybody.
Well, I think the Republicanism comes from his mustache, and when he takes it away, he's just bartending.
My God.
The mustache rides are 5 cents. It's strictly business with them. He doesn't say who.
I mean, also Swayze, I think, is a short king.
Hell yeah.
I may be wrong, but there's something about, because all the other dudes that are working with him are big burly dudes, but
right?
He's like the keen eye that can see the little knife in a boot when no one else can.
Mm-hmm.
And
Because he's so small.
he's
He's nearer to the boot.
well, he's a dancer, so he's swift and cunning.
Yeah, that's right.
He can get you. He's he's gonna pick up baby and throw it into the horde of men trying
He's
to
got
a
attack
knife.
the bar.
He'll rip your throat out on the shores of Swan Lake.
I mean, that was bananas.
Oh, it's the best. And you know it from the beginning because it's the thing he won't talk about. They're like,
yeah.
oh, what about Memphis, Dalton? He's like, I don't fucking talk about Memphis. And then it turns out it's because he ripped a guy's throat out in Memphis.
I mean, crazy. Also, like, there's
Speaking of which, I'm going to be in Memphis on April 20th. Come see me.
hell
Anyway.
yeah, get to
Wrestling? Are
Memphis.
you doing you were at WrestleMania the night Shane McMahon blew his knee.
Oh, I'm gonna
talk about WrestleMania.
I'm actually gonna mention that in our one of our top threes. I have I have something to mention about that exact moment. But no, I would just say this: it's the same thing with like Point Break, where it's like, why? It's a perfect film. It holds up today. There's no reason to remake it. No reason to remake Roadhouse.
I think Roadhouse should be remade. This is
Yeah?
one of the honestly Point Break dumb.
Yeah,
Because it's just when
it's of its era.
here's the thing, when special effects and stunts are as good as they get and
Right,
they're
yeah.
gonna cheaply use, CGI and everything to recreate something, that's nowhere near as good as I'm sure that there were stuntmen who were incredibly talented during the first Point Break, and that's why it was good. And then the second one is just some guy in front of a green screen going, wee!
Yeah.
But I think Roadhouse is, yes, the graphic fighting is part of it, but also the charisma, the sex appeal. Like, I want new versions of these men.
Yeah.
I don't know who's going to play the Sam Elliott of it all, but he better be fucking hot. Like,
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, who's been notably Austin Butler?
What? No,
Ew.
he's got to be old.
Gross? Is he gross?
No,
Austin Butler's
no.
younger than Jake Gyllenhaal.
Who's
You need
the next zaddy? Who's the new daddy?
I mean,
Okay, who was like hot in the '90s?
Kevin
Kevin
Costner.
Costner.
Kevin
Hey,
Costner.
Immediately
that's
Kevin Costner.
Yeah, because he's in the same kind
God,
of milieu
Kevin Costner can
as Sam
get it.
Elliott. Yeah.
Dennis Quaid.
Ooh,
Dennis Quaid.
Could
Yeah.
get
He's
it.
also got the Republican thing
I was
going
gonna
on,
say-
just like Sam
Dennis-
Elliott.
No.
Oh yeah.
hell yeah.
No,
Oh,
Dennis.
Oh, yeah.
What the fuck? It's because his wife cheated on him.
Far from
Russell
heaven.
Crowe.
yeah.
Bring it back full circle. Honestly, Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe's your guy. Yeah.
I mean,
crush it.
but Russell Crowe will lose weight for no man.
I know. I don't give a fuck. You can be
Yeah.
a big boy.
Well, and he'll
we
do.
like a big boy.
Yes, we do.
And I will say, Russell Crowe, when it comes to doing funny accents, he really goes for it.
He
So if
sure
you just
does.
tell him to be
Speaking
Sam Elliott, he'll
but-
just do it.
Speaking of funny accents, Keanu could be a good.
Keanu could do it.
Yeah.
I feel like Keanu
Yes.
is like everywhere right now, though.
Who cares? Bring him in for this.
Yeah, I
Get it
suppose
in
so.
there.
I suppose so.
I mean, yeah. Who else from the '90s? This is fun. I like having this.
Cast
What
it.
90s
Who
zaddy?
else makes me horny? I don't know. Oh, Kyle MacLachlan.
Ooh.
Okay. Yeah. Get some
Interesting.
Twin
kinda
Peaks
question.
action going.
Yeah. Oh, David Duchovny.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
dude.
But is he like a fighting guy or just a sexy guy?
You could do both. I'm sure.
I mean,
you
he's
could
fighting
train.
aliens and shit.
I mean, with a
Yeah.
gun.
But he's fighting people's disbelief in aliens.
Yeah.
So you know,
Yeah.
God, this is going to be. I mean, if only Mel Gibson wasn't a piece of shit.
Oh boy. Yeah.
yeah.
Because he was a hot one. He would. God, what a fucking piece of shit. I mean, I'm in the middle of this podcast. I'm gonna go. Oh, I got one.
Travolta's got the bald hair and the big beard now.
Bald hair.
Travolta could be good. Also, who's dude from The Wrestler?
Oh, Mickey Rourke?
Yeah. So.
I could see him.
Tell you what,
in
you could strike a
there.
match off his face.
Yeah, that's
Sure
true.
could. You sure could.
Well,
This whole podcast should just be this.
yeah. Who's it gonna
Honestly,
be?
this could be a comeback moment for Ben Affleck.
Well,
yeah. Well, he's
got-
doing that Michael Jordan
I was gonna
shoe
say,
movie.
He never went.
Yeah, he's got-
that movie looks like a parody for Funny or Die. I've looked at the trailer and I'm like, these two dudes are not able to make me excited about a shoe.
Yeah.
Like these,
No one is.
Well,
the whole trailer, like
Not
the
a single
whole,
team in the world.
So the whole trailer is two dudes that won an Oscar for writing. And I'm looking at their face the whole time. And then you got Viola Davis over here, who is a actress to the max, and you're barely showing her. It's just a bunch of white guys going, "We gotta sell a shoe."
Yeah.
And then it's like, how am I
The real story you want to hear
Well,
about.
okay,
we
so-
don't give a fuck about your shoe.
Well,
we give a fuck about Michael Jordan.
Yeah,
Like,
well, and he's not in it. They don't show him in the
I
film.
know. So why do I want to watch
Well,
Ben Affleck
so-
and Matt Damon pussyfoot around about a shoe? I don't give a fuck.
Is this going to be too popular? Like, what is the essential conflict?
Yeah.
Too?
Oh boy, I've never been so excited about a goddamn shoe.
So I will say, when I saw the trailer for the first time, I forgot what movie I was watching. I lost my mind. I was like, I can't believe this is a thing. And then I've come to find out it is a comedy. They're playing it like it's this big drama about a shoe. So at least that element of the joke works, because it did break my brain. So when I found out it was a comedy, I was like, okay, that's funny that they made the trailer seem like it's this fucking stupid thing.
Is that a good idea though?
No.
Yeah,
But
I looked at it. The whole thing. I was
Because
in
I bet
Cocaine
you
Bear,
$1 million bucks.
and the
it's
theater.
exploitative.
The theater reacted negatively.
Oh,
to it.
dude, I laughed my
The
fucking ass
trailer
off.
looks so dorky.
Yeah.
Like
People groaned in the theater.
I just, whenever I see Matt Damon's face, all I can think is Matt Damon. Like all I can think is that. And I think he was cool during like Born Supremacy, all that stuff, and Talented Mr. Ripley, and he did some cool things.
Departed.
But he's yes, but he wasn't the part that made me go, I want to see it. Everyone knows it was Jack Nicholson. That's the reason.
Oh, yes.
we
Yeah,
for
all
sure.
watch The Departed.
100%.
Him and
But,
him in the bucket hat with
Roll
the
around
with
until
the,
you're numb.
Yeah. Which is that his last movie, or was it The Bucket List?
think
The bucket list, I think, was the last one. But
Bucket
like,
list.
it's like an Abbey Road, Let It Be situation. Like, we'll just call The Departed his last
Honestly,
movie.
though, The Bucket List ruled.
Does it slap?
It slaps.
I've never
All
seen
right.
it.
I loved it.
All right.
Well,
Morgan Freeman, them jumping off a plane and
shows
shit.
his softer side.
But he did that in About Schmidt so well.
oh yeah.
He did also. What was it? What was that movie he did with Helen Hunt? As good as it
As good
gets.
As good as it gets. Yeah.
I mean, that's been almost 30 years though at this point.
The one he did with Diane Keaton, was that Something's Gotta Give?
Something got to give, yeah.
Which those titles, like, are you trying to make me have a brain hemorrhage?
Yeah.
Like,
we don't get titles like that
I don't think
anymore.
I have enough estrogen to keep remembering those things.
They should have one that's just like his last movie. It's called One of Those Days.
It's like,
and it's him and Helen Hunt. And
honestly,
It's called
like,
at the end of the day.
at the end of the day. And Diane Lane.
At
and
this point, it's like if you say "As You Like It," they'll be like, "Oh yeah, that's one of those Diane Keaton movies."
yeah.
It's like Shakespeare.
it's like Jeffrey Tambor's in it, I guess.
So Easter has come and gone, but it is not too late to test out the Peeps-flavored Pepsi.
Oh, fucking gross, dude. Peach flavored anything. Yeah, there's Jinx. And now we're both going to have to drink this gross
Jinx,
soda.
buy me a fucking Peeps Pepsi.
I want you to know that my job requires me to do so much of this stuff.
Hey, you can opt out, or you can.
Fuck no.
All right,
I'm not
all right.
opting out. But I think we did an episode involving Peep stuff, and we didn't catch this. I think.
Oh, nice.
Don't quote me on that. I mean, look
Well,
up.
this is
Peep stuff
it says
for me.
it's a 2023 limited edition.
Yeah.
So
Well-
you might have not been.
So
in the
you might
right
have missed the
season.
train.
So it's not a vintage.
Well, it has been sitting in that corner for about a month and a half.
Oh, in the sun, no less.
You know, that curtain's closed most
Thanks
of the
for
time.
chilling it, by the way.
Oh yeah, had to.
Oh.
It's really, it's not
bottles
that
don't-
important.
No, it is.
The bottles don't.
They don't crack
Wouldn't
as
it be
good.
like,
It's
I mean,
better-
Peeps are so Easter, too. Wouldn't it be
Yeah.
funny? And it was like, Jesus has risen.
Oh, here it comes. Oh, it smells exactly like Pepsi. Okay.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't smell exact. It smells
smells
like
like sweeter
Pepsi,
Pepsi,
with
yeah.
like
It smells
vanilla.
like a child spit in my mouth.
Yeah. Like a bunch of fucking sugar.
It tastes gross.
It tastes like the way Play-Doh smells.
Yes.
And not
Wow.
in a good way. Because I love the way Play-Doh
Nah.
smells.
It really does taste like Play-Doh.
I don't know. I've been banging Panera charged lemonades all morning, so maybe my taste buds
good.
are fucked up. But
this
tastes like Pepsi vanilla to me.
It tastes like a birthday party that no one showed up to.
This tastes like Pepsi products, where it just gets worse and worse.
Yeah, the more you drink it.
Yeah.
Can I tell you this though? Pepsi Zero, the zero sugar or whatever, lit.
Okay.
This just kind of tastes like a Pepsi fountain machine that's like broken or fucked up.
But at like a
somehow.
Pizza Hut or something where they put way too much sugar in it or something.
and they didn't
Yeah, they
clean
s-
the hose out.
Yeah,
I was at the Dodgers game last night. I had a Coke Zero that straight tastes like mug root beer.
Yeah, this is a Pepsi with a vendetta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the thing that we always accuse Coke and Pepsi of when they go to create like a flavored thing. They never go hard with it. It's always just like it's Pepsi, and then it's just like a little fucked up. So it'll be like Pepsi Mango, and you're like,
None
I
of them go
guess.
hard.
Well, what I was gonna say, I found the one that goes the hardest.
Oh,
Dr. Pepper, strawberries and cream.
word.
It tastes like a fucking cream saver. There is not an ounce of. There is
It's
not
like
a.
diabetic coma.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, no, it's available in zero. You can get it as
In
a zero.
zero.
And
That's got to be like pure cancer. Like there's
yeah, well,
gotta
I'm
be.
sure. Give it to me, baby. It tastes like a fucking cream saver.
When I'm down in my third Coke Zero of the day, that's all I can think about is what kind of cancerous material is 0 calories.
Listen, alert the little lads. This sounds like a great.
Little children.
I think the problem with this flavor is Peeps don't really have a flavor.
Right, they're fucking marshmallows.
They're marshmallows, but I think the sugar coating has a slight flavor to
Yeah.
it. That's not just sugar, because sugar is sugar. So they were like,
Right.
let's put a little kick in it. It's got
Yeah.
a little stank on it. I don't
yeah.
know what
Is it yellow? Is it yellow?
Yellow is the
tastes
traditional
like
one,
yellow.
and I will say this: the ones that are not yellow have a bitterness to them. Like if you get the pink, it's like blech. Like there is something
Yeah.
to it, but the yellow is somehow it does have a distinct flavor.
Yeah.
Like when you get the colorful marshmallows that are like pink and that little green and the yellow. Those are
Tricolored rotini.
delicious. I don't know what the flavoring is with that, but those are fabulous. So I think the Peeps like have some kind of a coating that mimics that.
The kind of almost crunchy granulated sugar cover of it. It's not just like pure soft marshmallow. Like there's like some layer of
There's
sugar
something.
on top.
I don't know what it is. I think they I think that there's a yellow that they dip the marshmallow in and then they coat the sugar on top. But this is just a theory. I do not know.
Because there's lemon and then there's yellow.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
And this
That's
is yellow.
This does have a slight yellow to it. I don't know.
As our livers will. It like coats your throat too. It really does.
You know, anytime I have the full sugar Pepsi experience, I'm always just like, I really don't miss full sugar
I mean, no
stuff.
wonder they spent so much money getting pop stars to do Pepsi commercials, because you don't even need to do commercials for Coke.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They got a
They're
cartoon
like cigarettes. It's
polar
like-
bear
Yeah.
because those are the only polar bears we'll be able to
Right,
see in
yeah,
the
yeah.
future. They were like, well, we got the Coca-Cola
Yeah.
one.
Boys, we got one left. Let's put it to work.
Yeah.
I mean, does anyone drink full Coke or full Pepsi?
I have recently as a little treat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because since I did sober January,
Me too.
and
Did that too.
then now today I'm drinking rum, and I like walked in, I'm like, you got a beer? And he was like, no, and I'm like, what do you got? And he's like, I got rum, but I don't usually drink it till the summer. I'm like, well, fuck you.
Yeah, I know. Take
Get
it.
it out. And then
You can take the bottle with you. It's
you
fine.
also had Sailor Jerry, which is my favorite fucking rum.
Same,
Like
yeah.
drinking that straight is so delicious.
Oh, you'll
Spicy.
it's so good. It's the best.
So
rum.
I bought that for an experimental cocktail, an energy drink colada that we made, where I turned energy drink into ice cubes and then mixed them in a blender with some pineapple chunks and pina colada mix and rum.
Hey,
and
that's
boy,
cool.
dangerous. You want to talk about
Sounds like, what kind of suicidal fucking
I
ice
think
cube
this
energy
is
drink ice cubes?
brilliant.
it was so we'll have to have you back for energy drink coladas round 2. I'll try to come up with energy drink aritas is my
I
next idea.
Would love this. I can't keep eating or drinking this
Oh,
because it
please.
does feel like I'm eating it instead of
I know, right?
Yeah.
It feels like Candyland came in my mouth.
Yeah.
It's a thick one.
And I also told them not to. And they did it anyway. anyway. And I'm like, no more dates for you. So I'm going to put it on your little shelf.
Okay.
Rivers will drink it right now.
I was gonna say, yeah.
All right.
I'll take it
Oh,
down.
yeah.
Rivers is a
Chuggity
little
luggity.
gross little piggy boy.
Yeah, I mean,
Can I tell you a fun story, actually, while we're on the subject of weird flavored things?
please.
The first commercial I ever booked in Nashville, I think I was 23. I got an agent from Talent Trek. Was an agency
Okay.
there.
That's
Leonard
Leonard
Nimoy's.
Nimoy's. Yeah, there we go.
I don't know. I walked in I found out where the agencies were in Nashville, and I just walked into this place and said, I want an agent. And they were like, okay.
Well, okay.
I'm looking for showbiz.
That's how this
No,
works.
honestly-
Am I in the right place?
Honestly, I got him. Like,
Yeah, I'm sure they're like,
Then no one's ever done this.
well, no, I think that's how Nashville worked for
Yeah.
a while. And
Wow.
like most of my auditions were like country music videos and Christian bookstore commercials. But then there was this gas station called Minute Mart, which was in Louisville, Kentucky, and they had a few in Tennessee. But they had this new machine called Minute Mix.
all right.
So I did this commercial about this girl who was fucking infatuated, obsessed with this machine where you could get a soda and then flavor it. Like you could like
Do like a
put
suicide.
syrups. I was just like, I can't find love, but I'm in love with Minute Mix. Like I was crazy about it, and like they were like, just look crazy, and I was
Yeah.
like, you found the right girl, like immediately. And it was the first commercial I ever booked. So when you guys are talking about sodas that go hard,
Yeah.
I went hard for sodas that could go hard in the first commercial I ever booked. And honestly, I've done other commercials, can't book a single one out here in LA.
Oof,
But
it's tough. Yeah.
oh my God.
You haven't seen my work in the Minute Mix commercial?
Yeah, bitch. You haven't
Hire
seen that?
me.
The minute I turned 30 out in New York, it don't matter. But out here, it's like they put me, I auditioned, one of the first auditions I had in LA, they put me and this beautiful woman who was younger than me. We were supposed to play a kid's mom or something.
Uh-huh.
They put us on a blanket on the floor and we had to compete for a baby's affection.
Oh my
And
God.
that baby was named Skylar.
What?
And the mom was sitting there like, it's so creepy when kids are in show business.
Blinking little
Like-
mewing cabbage.
Like
Yeah.
1.5 years old, this baby.
Oh my God.
And I remember there were
Cha-ching.
toys. There were toys on the blanket, and I don't know what the fuck to do with a baby.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
if I had a baby, it would be different. But other people's babies, I'm like, I don't
yeah,
know
gross.
Yeah,
Ew.
yeah.
No,
you. I
thank
don't
you.
know you.
This
and
thing is riddled with disease. Get away from
well,
me.
also just
All I know
like
is don't shake it.
Yeah.
All I know.
I'm
There you
scared,
go.
mister.
But there were like toys, and there was a little train, and I remember running the train along his leg and going choo choo. thinking this will do it.
Yeah.
I found my bit.
The kid will like it. And I remember me and this girl were like, this is our worst nightmare. And then after we got out of the audition, I was like, you want to go get a drink? It was like 2 PM. She goes, yeah. And we both went to Perch in downtown.
Oh, yeah, with the roof.
It's a rooftop thing,
Yep.
and we both looked cute because it was our audition, and we both shared a bottle of rosé and had fries with cheese curds on it.
Hell
And
yeah.
we became very close friends, and I took her to an open mic after that.
And then she didn't talk to you again.
No, we both had a great time. She
Oh,
was
nice.
married, so it was like, those are fleeting.
Was she a
fun moments.
comedian too?
No, she's just
Oh,
an
okay.
actress.
Wow.
But we just went, that was the most fucked up thing I've ever done. And we deserved to have a nice day for
Yeah,
the rest
that's
of
fair.
the day. And so we did. We had a nice day for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Everything I go out for now, it's always like some sort of like shot at my weight. Like it's always like every role description is like not in good shape. Like all like all caps. Not athletic.
Physically deformed.
One was like one was like, and it was for fucking like Fox or something, which was like already like ugh. But it was like it's like laugh as crazy as you can laugh because you're an IT guy and you. Like, it was like me and a bunch of people like on Zoom being like, like trying
Actually, that's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
What you just did. I would hire you.
to. Hey, I got a call back. So, but-
Hell yeah, dude.
All right.
Callbacks are rad.
Look,
Like,
they're in.
I just got to say, as Mr. Hollywood, I'm looking across the table and I do see Dom DeLuise and the old lady from Titanic. Just saying.
Wrong.
Yeah,
Here's why
it is
that's-
what it
I
is.
want chocolate.
Where are my sunglasses?
I would never ever throw away a necklace.
Right. Who would?
Like that's
insane.
I'm a hoarder of jewelry.
If you're on your deathbed, it is a funny thing to do.
it is funny.
Especially you're on a boat and the whole reason for the boat is to find the necklace. It's just like, fuck
I mean,
you.
what a cunt move.
I know. It's kind of great.
He rules. That character rules.
You know?
Rose is a badass. She's just like, yeah, I didn't get to keep the love of my life, so you don't get to keep my jewels.
Billy Zane put a pistol in his mouth because he couldn't have me.
One time passing out to the DVD of Titanic, and the DVD menu kept playing where she was going, and they called it The Ship of Dreams. And it was. It really was. Like over and over
It
again.
just keeps looping.
Can I tell you, there's that movie I saw 5 times in the theater, and when I was 12
In the
years
theater?
old. Oh yeah, when I was 12 years old, I had a T-shirt. I had the soundtrack.
A T-shirt?
I also had the music book with all the like sheet music.
Sheet music for My Heart Will Go On.
Oh no, for every single like piece of orchestral, like,
Yeah.
the score, everything.
Yeah.
I was so obsessed with it. It was the modern day Romeo and Juliet. Because
Right after the modern
Right
day
after
religion,
the
which he was also in.
it's true, and I think that's why they cast him. Every once in a while, there is like a thing that you know that's why they got the next part,
Yeah.
Right.
and that's exactly why. I mean, they were star-crossed lovers, and they were doomed like from the start. But at least she got to ride a horse bareback or whatever the fuck it was. She doesn't have to ride side saddle anymore. What a modern woman. She still has a nightgown from 1902, and she needs a little candle in a little thing like Ichabod, whatever the fuck.
Yeah, like Scrooge.
Yeah, I love that she was like the old lady was dressed like a fucking orphan from like 1820. She's like, but I have the most expensive necklace in all the world. Couldn't possibly buy a 2-piece pajama. Nope. Couldn't even go to Talbot's.
Wouldn't you like to know where it is? And then he painted me, and
Didn't she die in the ship too? Like,
And they had to haul her out of there.
they just chunked her overboard.
you find the necklace now, bitch.
They shot her out of a cannon, Navy style.
And then the skeleton of Jack was like, finally, I found you.
Yeah, there we go.
Rose.
Oh, ooh, that would be a good deleted scene. Like she just kind of floats to the bottom.
Skeletons. On the side.
Well, are you drinking with Jesus? I can see you very clear. Are you drinking with Jesus? Would you buy a friend a beer?
We have a segment on this show called Hometown, where we talk to our guests about their hometown. And of course,
Cool.
today we are joined by Emily Fleming, the proud daughter of Nashville, Tennessee, Music
Yes.
City, USA. So-
Yeah, well, I'm back and forth on proud at the moment.
Oh, yeah. Why? Is something fucking weird happening every week there that sucks?
Well, I mean, I'm proud to be from there because I'm proud of the kids that walked out of school and came out, because there was a shooting at my middle school. I think it was either the year before I got there. And
Oh, shit.
And it really changed everything at that school. I went to John Trotwood Moore, and they did the thing that everyone talks about where they up the security and
Yeah.
they put officers at every corner of the school. And
The learning store.
the weird thing about that was right after Columbine, and you'd think they did target kids who looked kind of alternative or grunge,
Fit
or
their
goth.
profile or
Yeah,
whatever. Yeah.
Yes, they did do that, but for the most part, they ended up punishing students of color.
Right. Yeah.
And that's how all of that works. You put all this security and behavior enforcement into schools, and it ends up punishing children of color.
Yeah, just
is what
profiling
it
people.
really does. But I haven't talked about this online because
It's because online is bad.
well, also because it's kind of long-winded and
Right.
it's better to say it out loud. I was going through an experimental new metal goth phase, which we had talked about this earlier about how new metal was the friendliest of metal.
Yeah.
It was the poppiest of metal, but I think I'm from a nice family. I went to church every Sunday in the choir. I was by all means a nice girl. I was just going through some depressive stuff at the time and experimenting with it.
And so when the choir's not singing, you're off in the corner just going boom, baka,
No, I was also in school choir. I was in everything. And so this was 8th grade, but I was in therapy too because my parents were like, "Oh, she's
What's
dark
wrong?"
and
Where's this angst coming from?
Well, yeah, probably my period, Mom.
Yeah, probably just being a person.
I know, and it was so I looked like the profiling of whatever, but because of Columbine, there was this thing that happened in public schools called zero tolerance policy.
Oh, yeah.
And it was anything gang related. It comes with bandanas too, which I don't think there was a West Coast, East Coast thing happening in Nashville, Tennessee at the time.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the fuck that had to do with anything. But, and then trench coats and stuff like that.
Right.
So I remember seeing other kids like wearing red bandana headbands, like little headbands or whatever. So I kind of thought, oh, well, maybe this isn't a big deal anymore. So I wore like a Rosie the Riveter style, like, tied at the top.
She's showing the Bloods.
I know. And and I should also say that the shooting at this middle school was accidental. I think that sometimes people they say gun violence, but sometimes it's accidental.
Right.
The shooting at your school was accidental?
It was. A kid brought a gun to school to show off to his friends.
Yeah.
He dropped
the
Well, no,
backpack
he
or-
put it in a trash can because his friends were like, what
You
the
idiot.
fuck?
What
Yeah,
the
you
fuck is
idiot.
your idiot? What's your
Another
problem?
kid found it, dropped it. It went off and shot a kid in the head, killed him.
Shit.
And so it wasn't even like it wasn't even that. So it's like
Yeah.
people talk about mental health all the time, which is also
Yeah.
fucked.
But it also really underscores the main thing is fucking gun law.
Right. Well,
Yeah. You know
what I
that's
mean?
the other thing is people who go like, "Oh, guns don't kill people. People kill." It's
well,
like,
in
well,
this case,
in
the
this
gun
The gun literally killed someone. Yeah.
Literally.
It fell on the ground
It literally-
and killed someone.
Yeah.
So how do you argue about this?
Right,
Yeah.
So it's fucking bananas. So it was an accident. But then the security at my middle school became insane. And it's like treating students like prisoners. That makes children even more terrified. The fact that they're being treated like prisoners.
And there's a guy with a gun walking around surveying the scene
I
and
don't
shit.
know if he had a gun, but I know that they would tackle kids. And there were multiple of them. They
Jesus,
were
yeah.
everywhere. And I wore this little red bandana to school, and my friends were like, what the fuck are you doing? This isn't, you can't. So I thought I put it into the locker, but it had fallen on the floor in front of my locker.
We got a code red in the 300 building.
Yes. So
Oh my
also,
God.
I was the tallest kid in my grade. Everyone else caught up with me later. So I had a bottom locker, but I was getting hit in the fucking face all
Yeah.
the time. And so I went, can you please give me a top locker? They gave me this top locker, and it had a lot of anarchy symbols in it, which we should totally bring back. Those were so cute. Were those cute?
Everyone could draw it.
It's like the cutest little poppy, like anarchy symbol. It's not even like a dangerous symbol, in my opinion. It's
the
like
A with
this,
the O,
it's like
you know.
this, like it's cute. Every Hot Topic had those symbols.
Yeah.
On it. It was
I'm a nonconformist.
they had a
exactly. That's all it was.
yeah,
And
they had a skate
so-
they had a skate company with that logo.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there was some, and the thing is, I loved that, but there were somebody who tagged the whole locker.
Right,
but I
right.
just went, fuck it, this is my locker.
Yeah.
So I was currently undiagnosed. I have ADHD. I was finally diagnosed in high school, but like I forgot my homework as I always did. And so I thought when I got pulled out of class, it was my mom bringing my homework.
Yeah.
But instead, it was security guards and the photography teacher who loved me. They had completely opened my locker, gutted it. Were taking pictures of everything in my locker. I had a notebook in there because I was in therapy, and they were like, write everything that you think, even if it's negative, into this notebook. And I've been like, I want to fucking kill my volleyball coach. And shit in there. I was like, fuck that bitch. And because she, like, I was on the bench for 2 years. I never got to play.
The tallest kid in school didn't
get to play.
What the fuck?
I was just like a fun accessory. They're like, we found a giant. But yeah, so
That's crazy.
I started being hysterical. I got really upset. They physically detained me,
Jesus.
pushing me up against the locker, holding my arms back, and dragging me into the principal's office.
Oh, shit.
And then they interrogated me and were like, do you know who the trench coat mafia is? I'm like, yeah, y'all don't shut the fuck up about it.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
don't you think? And I'm like, also, I'm in the Bloods.
Yeah.
Don't you know?
Don't fuck with me. I'm tight with Suge Knight, bitch. I'll get Suge Knight to run your dumb ass over.
Like, you pulled me out of class because of the red bandana, bitch. It was ridiculous. And I was like hysterical. And
Also, like, which coven do you belong to? Like, what other like classic
just
like
stack it
evil-
on.
I
yeah.
know, it was fucking crazy.
I'm in all of it. I'm in the
So
3-6 Mafia. I'm in the fucking,
And also
I'm in the Insane Clown Posse.
my notebook and all that stuff was in my permanent records for a while.
So somewhere in the records in the state of Tennessee,
No, I've seen them. I've seen
Wow.
files and stuff about it.
let's file an FOIA and get that.
It was well, no, I'm fine. I'm white.
Oh yeah, well yeah. Fair
I'm
enough.
like a pretty white girl. I will always be fine. It's the other kids that I worry about.
Yeah,
It's
for
like,
sure.
if you do this, if you decide to put tons of security officers and police into schools, this is what's going to happen. You're
Yeah.
going to treat kids who look like this. And the fucked up thing is like, so I was kind of, I wasn't even really goth.
yeah.
And they decided to profile me.
Yeah.
Can you imagine being a trans kid right now?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because of the shooting in Nashville, if you put officers in all these schools, they're going to target all these kids.
That was like the worst possible.
This is the worst scenario.
Yeah.
Why would you? Also, it's so much work to fucking like complicate it in this way. It's just the guns, guys. Like, it's just the guns.
It's so much justification because they did. I'm sure they still had that thing in the back of their brain being like, "Why are you trying to be weird? Like, why are you trying to be weird, making everyone feel uncomfortable with being weird?" And then like now there's like this reason, like, "Now it's a safety issue now,
Right.
Because
Also-
they have these groups where they get together and they're trying to kill people. I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like the rational of it fucking spirals out of control now. And they have
Honestly,
full
the
justification. to do
most
it.
dangerous people are people who can't deal with being uncomfortable.
Yeah, for sure.
Those are the most dangerous people. Honestly, the most stimulating thing you can have in life is to be uncomfortable and find a way to move past it.
Yeah.
Right.
Being uncomfortable is a good thing.
Yeah, well, and it's also people that have no explanation for what the fuck their life is.
Yeah.
Where it's
Yeah.
like you have no easy explanation. So if somebody's feeding you like, oh, it's this group over here that's extremely
Yeah, you're blaming
marginalized.
other people
Right.
for your emptiness and discomfort.
It's
And your lack of progression, your lack of your brain,
Yeah.
like
right.
fucking
It's
evolving.
it's like
Honestly-
water using gravity to find the easiest path. Where it's just like, oh, this is the thing that I'm to be mad about now, kind of a thing.
It's
whereas-
true. The
yeah.
easier your life is, I find the more discomfort you have. Like,
God, that's true.
And that's why you're supposed to be uncomfortable, because you're supposed to keep growing and changing. That's
And
why,
acclimating. Yeah.
Yes, and that's why everybody who like is so uncomfortable with trans people or gay people
Right.
or like, you are being called on to face the challenge of your discomfort. Like,
Yeah.
that is what it is. Also, fuck guns. Like,
Yeah.
fuck them. It's so crazy to me that you're defending an inanimate object that is
Purely made for killing
is
people.
purely made for killing people instead of people.
Yeah.
Well, you got to understand, it's the
yeah.
amendment, and then there's the
Can you-
Or at the very least, make it as hard to get a gun as it is to get an abortion in Mississippi.
Right.
Bare minimum. That's it.
If
That's
you
all we're
hate
saying.
killing,
Yeah.
hate killing across the board, dumbass.
Yeah.
Like, it's just,
Yeah.
they're so inconsistent.
Yeah.
It's like the most frustrating thing.
You
And
remember
I'm
anything?
like,
Remember, like when 9/11 happened, everyone in the South thought that like their cities were going to be the next target.
The weekend after 9/11, Auburn, Alabama was identified by the government as the number one target because it was the Auburn LSU football game that weekend.
Suck a
They're
dick.
they're like
Yeah.
Jordan Hare Stadium's on full alert. And I was like, I don't think Al Qaeda gives a shit about what happens about this game.
yeah,
No
one in America gives a shit.
Well,
Auburn is like the backup plan for people in the South.
we're the Alabama team that people like. So that's
Oh,
cool.
I'm sorry I insulted your team.
Yeah, but yeah,
Rivers has never seen a sports in his.
just the good ones.
Whenever Rivers says something about Auburn, people generally look at me because I went to Alabama. I couldn't care less, but
Well, listen, I went to a school with 500 students in
Yeah.
Batesville, Arkansas. We didn't even have a football team.
Oh, they don't got one at a 500 student school.
No, and it's also a dry county.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, wow.
A fate worse than death.
Listen, I got in. That's what's important. ADHD girl got into college.
Nice.
That's the fucking success story.
Hell yeah. Well, yeah, so for
Also, my permanent record probably didn't help.
Oh, yeah, there
UT
you go.
Knoxville was like, fuck this goth weird bitch.
yeah, it says here that she rolls with the 181st Street Bloods. I don't know if we can.
That's right. I was the treasurer for the blood.
She's the
it says here that you are a member of the Galactic Empire. Now, tell me, did Darth Vader tell you to listen to Korn? Why are you being weird? Why are you being weird?
She's in the most fucked up version of the Masons.
Are you in the Maryland Masons?
Oh, the one that sacrifices
Yeah.
little baby bunnies. We do that one.
She's
Fuck
the
a
one-
baby bunny.
Maryland,
They
He pukes
dig up-
on babies' faces.
Yeah, baby bunnies dig up my yard, God damn it. Sacrifice that shit to the Illuminati.
This place is so boring that I have to get blind drunk every day. So let me tell you something. Why are you being weird?
God, I hate bricks.
well, let's talk Nashville. First question.
All right.
Local legend.
All right, we got a
bunch.
couple. Santa's Pub is this.
Yeah, dude.
You know that? Okay, so Santa's has been around for forever.
ever, yeah.
And I didn't know this because my parents are musicians. I'm always going to plug my dad every time. My father is a Grammy-winning musician. He's in the band The Steel Drivers.
Oh,
They-
Chris Stapleton's old band.
Yep.
I've seen
Wow.
him at Bourbon Street Bar in Auburn, Alabama in 2009.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you saw him with the Steel Drivers. 'Cause
Yeah.
that was around when.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It was
You saw the Steel
I saw the
Drivers.
Steel Drivers with Chris Stapleton.
And you saw my
Yeah.
dad.
Yeah, fuck yeah. That was
so
great.
the Steel Drivers are still going.
Yeah, I know. They're great. And there was a split second there in 2009 where Auburn just booked like an incredible string of bands one fall.
Nice.
And I was like, we're becoming a music town. And then they just abandoned it.
Well,
But anyway.
it could always come back. But
No, maybe.
I also think country music is in a really positive movement right now.
Totally.
Yes.
Like Margot Price and Sturgill Simpson.
Well, also Kelsey goddamn Ballerini being a badass.
Hey, there we go.
I gotta check her out.
During the CMT Awards, she performed with 4 drag queens.
Yep,
on
yep.
Oh, cool.
stage.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
fuck you.
Yep.
Very cool.
To Nashville.
Yep.
And
Patterson
to the-
Hood last night from Drive By Truckers posted on his Instagram was like, they had the whole band rocking dresses on stage and shit.
Hell yeah,
Shit, yeah.
dude.
Fucking
I mean,
rules.
honestly, I don't know if the thing that's fucked up about drag is like I'm wearing pants. What's your definition?
Yeah, what is it? Where does this
Really what it
how
is-
microscopic do we want to get with this?
Well, what it is it's like the whole point is to lead to trans bands.
yeah, of
It's
course,
like
yeah.
that's where they're
That's
trying
where
to
it's-
lead
yeah.
to, but also like it seems to be targeting men or masculine presenting people who
Right, they don't give a shit what
who
women
are
do. Yeah.
dressing as women. They
Yeah.
don't give a fuck about women.
Ironically, it's the one time that they're giving women a pass. Conservatives are. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's like, oh, you girls just do whatever you want.
Yeah, exactly.
You're
so
like, well, what the fuck then?
it's really bizarre, but I've thought about like trying to go home and start a show where it's like women in drag, like hardcore
drag kings, yeah.
drag kings, which
Yeah.
I've never done, but I would absolutely really love to
Yeah,
do.
why the fuck not?
I do think that I have a masculine side that I haven't explored fully, and I would like to. So Santa's, it's like a trailer.
Perfect. Yes. Classic.
And
Kind of
it's-
right off the highway.
Speaking of Carters, there's a gentleman named Carter Brawlier.
Yeah, he's a friend of Laura Peak.
Of course. I
Yeah,
know.
she's a
Laura
good friend, great
Peak.
friend, and
Fabulous comedian.
Yeah, yeah.
one of her best friends. He's a great guy. Yeah, I got to know Carter.
Yeah, go check out Laura Peak immediately.
Amazing
if you
comedian.
haven't checked out. So Carter hosts karaoke where it's like a live band and everything. Like, and also there's a lot of amazing musicians that play there that are up and coming. But anyway, my parents, they knew that place. So I'm assuming it's been around
Forever, yeah.
Forever. And so we went as a family once and he immediately waved at my parents like, hey, like he knew who they were.
Oh shit. Okay.
So that place is fabulous. You're gonna see good music. It's not on the Broadway honky tonk
Yeah.
strip. It's kind of like a cool spot to go check out.
So the local legend is the other Carter. Is what you're saying? Yeah.
Honestly, yeah.
Carter Brawlier?
Okay.
Carter
gotcha.
Brawlier.
Good dude.
All right.
man. I'll say about people doing karaoke in Nashville. A lot of people do take it really seriously because they're
Fuck
like,
that.
yeah, which is lame. Like it's people being like, I'm
Oh,
going to
I-
get discovered. But like, there's also
Let me just say.
You're never gonna get discovered.
Let me just say, I went to the Los Angeles karaoke finals for
Yeah.
Joe
I
K's
didn't know that
birthday.
existed.
They do it at the Good Night, and it was tremendous.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean,
I love the
They
Good
had
Night.
props.
Good Night is so fun.
Yeah.
It's
The
so fun.
mic at Good Night.
On Thursday, yeah, it's so fun.
They
So fun.
so like they did a whole thing of like reenacting the movie Speed.
No.
During Drive All Night, shit like that.
That's
so look,
fabulous.
it can be good, is what I'm saying. Continue to your point.
No, of course. I'm just saying, like, especially because Nashville's a music town,
Right.
So, and it's in the same way that a lot of people or at Mike's, like they'll out here they'll kind of treat it like an audition,
Sure,
like
yeah.
you know what I mean, as opposed to it just being fun.
Yeah, okay, yeah,
and
fair,
like,
fair.
and it's you can see that in Nashville too. But there's always when someone's doing good at karaoke in Nashville, it's when they pick the right song.
Yeah, of course.
That like.
Oh yeah. Also, don't pick a super long song.
yeah,
No.
no long
Everyone
songs.
out here. Also, don't do a ballad
And-
unless you are the Celine goddamn
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dion.
unless you're gonna like hold
Well-
your ear and do a.
Well, that's annoying though.
Yeah.
When someone's like doing "I Will Always Love You" and they're hitting every note, you're like, "Fuck you, go book a
yeah,
concert."
I think if you suck at those, that's pretty fun.
I know, it's hilarious.
I think you should kind of suck.
yeah.
All right, you want the next legend?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's an estate jewelry store in Nashville with a legendary owner named Amy Martin.
Okay.
AJ Martin is the name of the store. When I was 9 years old, it's the most beautiful jewelry in all of Nashville, and it's all estate and like antique, or she has replications of antique jewelry. Actually, I bought myself an engagement ring to myself. It's a sapphire and little topaz that go around the ring because I'm making a commitment to myself. And when I make a bigger commitment to myself, I'll get a bigger ring.
Okay.
But she has like the most affordable fucking stunning engagement rings because she makes replications of antique like wax molds.
Oh, shit.
Like,
Okay.
Yeah.
She's fucking insane how beautiful her stuff is.
This is the ring Waylon Jennings was buried in.
Honestly, so when I was 9, my mom was obsessed with this store. And there were always young girls like working in there, and they would get on her. She smoked American Spirits in the store, and my mom loved it. She didn't give a shit. Also, you could smoke everywhere in the 90s. Like, it didn't matter. But AJ said to my mother, when she's 15, come back. I'll give you a job.
And you work there?
I came back at 15 and started working with her. And I mean, I still help her out if she needs it. Like, worked for her all the way through before I moved to LA. I was helping her organize her like paperwork and stuff. But she is a character, and she on the business card, unsolicited advice is the bottom of the card, like the thing she offers. I adore her. She doesn't give a fuck. She's mean, but in a purposeful way.
Yeah.
She's never mean just to be mean. She's
Right.
mean because she believes in something. And she's an icon. She's a Nashville icon.
Wow.
She does have an online store. You'll be blown away at the shit she's got. I remember at one point she had a solid gold beaver pendant that had ruby eyeballs.
That's horrifying.
And it's gone. Somebody bought it. And
Someone
I'm
wised up. Yeah.
kind of pissed because there's things in that store that I think about from my pretty much childhood. Like 15 as a child, like that I've been like, once I'm rich or once I'm in showbiz, I'll buy it. Like kind of thing.
Yeah.
But she's like been a supporter of me and my career and who I am as a person for over half my life.
Oh, hell yeah. Well,
And yeah, she's amazing, and people know who the fuck she is.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah, I've definitely heard of AJ Martin.
you
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
yeah. She came to see my shows at Springwater.
oh, nice.
I bombed every time she came. I don't know what the fuck that is. I want to kill in front of her just once. She's come to see me at Zany's at one of my worst shows ever. Like I have killed at Zany's, but when she comes, I'm like, woo! Like it's.
I tell you, Zany's is a different type of intimidating
Zany's
because
is so intimidating, and nobody talks about it. Like
it's because it's like Southern people who got
brutal.
free tickets, so they're sitting there like with their arms crossed, being like, "Come on, make me laugh, then."
Oh,
and
my
it's like,
God.
oh, I don't know if you want to see my weird shit at all. Like
it's rough.
Shout out to AJ Martin. The second question, you might have already answered it. Worst bar. It sounds like
Worst bar?
Yeah, and when I say worst, I could mean best. All my favorite bars are
Yeah,
dumps.
the thing is, I love fucked up bars.
Same,
I'd
yeah.
say Springwater is kind of but it's also right in the middle of Centennial Park.
Yeah.
We've got a replica of the Parthenon.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
Colosseum.
people said that we were the the fucking Rome,
the Athens of the South.
Athens of the South.
yeah.
Which our Athens famously has, there's many places in the South named Athens already.
Yeah,
so
I know.
It's
Why
just being
did
like,
we
fuck
think
you, Georgia.
this? Yeah, I know. It's like, why do we think that about ourselves? But yeah, it's like right there. So
Yeah.
if you're in Centennial Park and you're like, I've seen enough of this fucking park.
Yeah,
then
yeah.
it's like, let's get wasted.
It's-
Also, it's called Springwater Supper Club and Lounge, and there is no food.
Oh, yeah.
When I was doing the show there, they had a little grilled cheese station.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Just to
but
qualify.
It ain't there no more. I went there. They tried to have a little taco situation at one point, and then it's not there anymore. I'm trying to think of so the first place I ever did a book show, but also another major open mic place was Spanky's.
Oh yeah, I remember Spanky's.
And it's gone now.
It's gone now, yeah.
But I loved Spanky. I know that you have another shutdown question about things that are no longer there. Spanky's is one of them.
Okay.
Oh man,
I'm
did you
trying
ever go to like East Side places like East Room or like?
Yes, I did a show at the East Room. I think East Room is great.
Yeah.
Things like keep changing in Nashville at a rate that I can't keep up with, and it's tough. I struggle with it. But I'd say Springwater is the worst, best bar.
Question 3, and I love that we've got 2 bona fide Nashvilleans here, so you can cut past all the hot chicken bullshit and give me the real dope.
Her more than me. Yeah.
Best local food.
Ooh. Okay.
Because we've long established it's Bolton's.
Brown's Diner.
Brown's Diner.
Brown's Diner rules.
Fun story about Brown's Diner. It is like a 10-minute walk from my parents' place, my childhood home. It's in a trailer pretty much as well. It was one of the last bastions of smoking indoors. It's no longer smoking indoors. They've also done a pretty lovely extension onto it with a beautiful wooden deck and everything. So it's really cool.
Oh, okay.
The burgers are fucking lit.
Fire, yeah.
They do pitchers of beer. It's a huge institution. I'd say that the older waitresses whose name I am forgetting, she's been around forever, and the bartender, it's I know it's under new management, but it's there's some great servers there who are younger people. We won't shit
Well, sure.
we won't shit
sure.
on them. We're happy it still exists, and we want it to keep existing. I will say this: the day My mother left the hospital after giving birth to my sister in 1991. That was the first stop.
I need a smoke and a burger.
It was smoking at the time. So people were smoking in there, and I had a newborn baby sister sitting in a little thing, and my mom was like, I need a fucking burger. Like, so we went, but the thing is, like, I was used to smoke, like, because my parents are musicians, we were in venues where people were smoking all the time. That was like my childhood. And if I was lucky enough to go with them, I was often with a sitter, but like if I got to come along,
right,
people were just smoking cigarettes all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that is the burger for us in Nashville, I would say.
Hell yeah.
I'm trying to think of another place because a lot of them have been torn down and taken away.
Yeah.
Oh, Pizza Perfect is kind of a Vanderbilt, like, it's like a college town type thing.
For a moment, I thought you meant like the railroad tycoon, like Cornelius Vanderbilt ate at Pizza Perfect.
No, Vanderbilt University.
No, I got you. Yeah.
So that pizza place has been around since childhood, and it is delicious.
Since the age of railroads.
Pretty much. So Pizza Perfect is lit.
We delivered it on a locomotive.
Another place, the Loveless Cafe.
Oh, fuck yeah. Way the fuck out in the boonies, but yeah.
A little bit. I worked in a store in the Loveless Cafe for a brief time. A jewelry designer. I worked in jewelry for a very long time. She had a shop in the Loveless Cafe, but those biscuits, Oprah did a whole special about those biscuits.
The Oprah seal of approval.
Honestly, and you can buy the biscuit mix in our airport. That's how like popular it is.
Hell yeah.
But they have like a smoker out back. Also, they now have a huge like venue that's out back at the Loveless Cafe. It used to be a motel for like truckers and stuff. And now it's become kind of a fun stop for bikers. Like there is still a shower and things like that. But yeah, so there's a venue.
Wash the bugs off. You get a biscuit.
Exactly. So they have a venue out back. People get married there now.
Wow.
There's a lot of stuff. So I'd say Loveless.
Nice.
Yeah.
Number 4, and the answer might be the middle school administration. Local ghosts or monsters.
There's a witch. I'm trying to remember something about Belle.
Oh, the Bell Witch.
Yeah,
the Bell Witch.
Yeah,
hell
there's
yeah.
the Bell Witch. I remember before I moved to New York, there was like this play that happened on a farm. I think that was the
Bell Farm. Yeah.
And they had like a performance of the Bell Witch or like the legend of it, which I wish I could remember the full story. But yeah, Bell Witch that's a thing. But other than that, I don't think so.
The witch ran a family out of a house. It was like the Amityville horror of the 19th century.
You remember the story?
Oh yeah. I'm a big old ghost guy. Yeah, fuck yeah.
Cool. I will say, so I went to college in Arkansas. I was also born in Arkansas, but we moved when I was 3, so I don't entirely identify as an Arkansan. But I also went to college there, so I'd say I'm a little like. I'd say I got 20% Arkansan and the rest is Nashvilleian. The Gurdon Lights. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
If you've heard about this. I never got to see them, but there were people from my college who knew about it and they had seen them. And it's on a train track and there's this unexplained lights that you see on the train track.
Yeah.
And they've since like tried to prove what it is. And I'm not buying it. It's weird. It's super
Well, they've got the thing
weird.
in Texas, the Marfa lights too. Yeah.
There's a friend of mine, JT Tarpley. I think he's got like a movie he made or something. I'll like drop something in the comments about it. But he's from Gurdon. So yeah, if you want to look up the Gurdon Lights, it's an interesting thing, but I wish I had seen it.
Okay. And then last one again, I think you might have answered it already. Favorite thing that's not there anymore.
Yeah, I think I've answered a little bit, but I'm going to say Rotiers is a fabulous little burger spot that had been there for fucking years and years and years. I'd like to say 40 years almost.
When did it go under?
Recently.
Okay, because
years
I'd heard
ago.
about that place when I was living there, so I don't think it's...
Rotiers was another place my family would go a lot.
Yeah.
And it was milkshakes was kind of what they were known for.
Sure.
the main childhood memory I had was that they had every flavor of Mentos at the front.
Oh, Jesus.
There was like a little glass cabinet when you went to pay.
Oh,
It was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
Fuck tons of Mentos.
Oh, they got the cinnamon.
and
they
they
got
let me get the multicolor
assorted fruits.
Mentos. Yeah.
Fuck
And
yeah.
I was like, oh, let's fuck up my teeth forever. But yeah, and Miss Rotiers, like the founder, would come and greet every table. And I remember they had like a MasterCard ad, and they featured Rotiers.
Oh, wow.
At one point. Also, there was a restaurant called Bosco's, which was a chain. They had one in Little Rock, Arkansas as well. And it was across the street from my church in Hillsboro Village.
Okay.
I had the best church. I'm a Methodist.
Uh-huh.
I still identify as a Methodist. And
Culturally Methodist.
no, I mean, I'd still fully identify.
Oh,
as a
okay. Right
Methodist.
on.
Because if you look up what a Methodist is, it's you mainly worship through service to others. So Habitat for Humanity is a big connection to that. I see you've got a Jimmy Carter.
I was going to say famous Baptist, but yeah.
Did he?
But he started Habitat for Humanity.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that was, we worked with them a lot. We also
Yeah,
did like
that's
Room
cool.
in the Inn, where you house the homeless community for a night and feed
Very
them and everything. So I will say this. During Room in the Inn, we mostly used it to make out and diddle each other throughout the church.
You know, what's
and
church for if not that?
Honestly, I did a lot of naughty things in our church. I would say that my church, that is still there, is the site of most of my first sexual experiences. So if you want to know how liberal the Methodist Church is,
Well, they be having lock-ins.
I mean, we also had, I said this to somebody recently, we had sex education in my church in the 6th grade. Planned
Wow.
Parenthood came.
Oh, Lord. Okay.
The Planned Parenthood Players, which was like young people who would audition to do like
Kind of like
For- I
Musketeers.
was gonna
but-
say,
Honestly,
for
it
some
was
reason,
like-
my mind went to the Ohio Players, like it was a funk band.
And so they do act outs of like people where your friend comes to you with information and how you would like tell your parents to help and all that kind of stuff. And I auditioned for the Planned Parenthood Players and did not get in. And I was so bummed.
Damn, you're
I'm
riding
an abortion, but I
was
don't
gonna
know where to
say,
go.
I know.
You're riding the bench for the volleyball team, riding the bench of the Planned
know,
Parenthood
it
Players,
sucked.
the Triple P.
So it would be a weekend where our parents would come and the pastor and assistant pastor and then all the youth pastors would come and Planned Parenthood would come as well.
Yeah.
So it was like all of us talking about sex education, and masturbation was heavily suggested. And so it was,
Suggested.
yeah, do it. Like
Yeah.
it was
Better than
like,
having a
there's
kid.
nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, it's
But
free.
also, it fully taught you about the like biological stuff. So it wasn't just like
Wow.
it was like, and so then I went to Catholic school in high school, and I was like, "Damn, they ain't telling them."
Is that a
shit.
little different?
Yeah.
They weren't telling
say,
them shit, and it was like
I went to Catholic school for 2 years, and it was not like that.
I went
We
to
had
Catholic school for high school. I was in public school till I got busted for being in the Bloods.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
then,
yeah.
Yeah.
And then I
Oh,
went
yeah.
to Catholic school because my mom worked at the Catholic school,
Yeah,
even
yeah.
though we're not Catholic.
They actually called you 4-Pac because you were twice as dangerous as Tupac.
You're in the Soggy
But
Bottom
yeah.
Boys.
So, the Soggy Bottom Boys, fuck you! Oh fuck! But no, so I still consider myself a Methodist. I don't know if I'd like the idea of calling yourself a Christian is kind of a word that I think gives me the ick. But Methodist
Yeah.
doesn't give me the ick at all.
Okay.
But so yeah,
dig
my
it.
dad ran the sound at church, which is like the coolest spot to be if you have ADHD. Is like go sit with your dad while he goes, "You want to move the little thing up?"
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
Like yeah,
Twist that knob.
yeah. Oh, like it's the coolest thing.
You can. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Then he was like kind of a celebrity in the church where people like wanted to talk to him, like, "Good sound, Mike."
Yeah.
Pristine.
job.
I was gonna
Oh,
say.
it sounded
Mighty
cool.
Fortress is our God. Never sounded better.
But yeah, also my parents had a band called the Pilot Lights, and they did like
Whoa.
Methodist hymns, but bluegrass style. And
Oh,
they had
shit,
a whole
okay. Cool.
album.
Fuck
But yeah, I had a great experience. I think that a lot of kids don't have a good experience in church, and I just had one of the most wonderful experiences.
Cool.
Nice.
So yeah, but we would go to Bosco's after church because
All right.
the brunch after church is the thing. But Bosco's was a brewery, and they
hearing
also
about
had
it.
a band, like a jazz band called the Gypsy Hombres. I don't know if they're still around, but they were lit. And then it was the best food, and that's gone. So yeah, also Blackstone Brewery, the restaurant is gone. I worked there briefly, and that now the brewery's still there.
Yeah.
But the restaurant isn't there anymore.
Okay.
So that's another spot. But
Did you ever go to Exit In or the
Exit In is gone.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that crazy?
You're right. I forgot about Exit In.
Yeah, it's been gone since I've been out here, so it doesn't. I forgot that it was.
That sucks.
I know, dude. That place ruled.
It ruled.
Oh, well, that is Emily Fleming's tour of Nashville.
There you go.
Hell yeah.
You can ride the midnight train to Nashville. You can ride the midnight train to Nashville. You can ride the midnight train tomorrow in the midnight rain back to Nashville.
We have a segment on the show called Top 3 where we get our listeners to write into us at The Goods Pod with prompts for a top 3 list. The one we're doing today, this comes from our friend listening in the Empire State, New York, at Freelance Mikey, who wants to know top 3 celebrities you'd want in your inner circle. So I will run mine down really quickly with the aforementioned, as promised, honorable mention for Snoop Dogg, who already cool as shit. You know, when I think of people I like to have in my inner circle, present company included, I like people with good stories, lots of them. Snoop Dogg, despite the fact that he is a weed icon, has a steel trap memory. If you ever watch interviews with that guy, he remembers shit better than anyone else who's on the panel, like about shit from the 90s. Like he'll be on a panel with Eminem and he'll be like, oh, you remember when we were in that video together? And Eminem's like, what video? And then he like lays out very specifically like, oh, it was this day. So
Snoop Dogg?
Snoop Dogg. He's got stories for days. So that's a good thing. He's done it all. He's been to the top, and at this point, he's just doing activities that interest him. I would say I would put Willie Nelson in this same spot for the same reasons. But Willie, I feel like I'd have more time to hang out with Snoop because Willie's getting up there. But no, and as far as WrestleMania goes, what we were talking about at the beginning. So there was a spot. He was the host of WrestleMania this past weekend, Snoop Dogg.
Okay.
And
No way.
Yeah, it was great. And so I was there on night 2, and there was a spot where a wrestler comes out and they're supposed to get in a fight with this other wrestler, and Snoop Dogg is hosting, and he basically arranges the match like, hey, this guy's going to come out and kick your ass. That guy was Shane McMahon, the son of Vince McMahon, runs out into the ring and immediately tears his quadricep muscle. So they get in this brief fight, and then he fucks his shit up, like can't walk, and it's a situation. And we're sitting there, and everybody's just like, this is bad, but also considering who we're talking about, pretty goddamn funny because it is very, very, Kendall Roy's Succession vibes happening. We're just like the wannabe son, just trying way too hard and fucking himself up. And this was confirmed later, completely improvised. The other person who still has their mobility about them basically just calls an audible and goes, Snoop, punch me in the face. And so Snoop hits The Miz in the face, and then The Miz gets up and he hits him again, and then drops the Rock's move, the People's Elbow, on The Miz, and does it in his own way because he's like 145 pounds soaking wet. And so Snoop can't really like hit the ropes like a real like heavy wrestler. So he kind of does like a backwards crip walk. And then because he is not really, and he's just kind of like lightly bounces against the ropes, and because he's not a trained wrestler, proceeds to drop the most beautiful elbow drop I've ever seen. But the reason it looks so good is because he legitimately just dropped his elbow directly on the man's sternum, and I'm like, paint that on my wall. That shit fucking rocks.
Nice.
So anyway, honorable mention, Snoop Dogg.
Saved WrestleMania.
Hell yeah.
Totally did. Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. That would have been a disaster, but he awesome. So anyway, all that in mind, number 3.
And no one makes an elbow drop cooler.
No.
Not even The Rock.
Especially, yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, yeah, it is like my list is now Kyrie Sane number 1, Macho Man number 2, Snoop Dogg number 3. That's the elbow drop,
yeah.
people. Top 3, Dave Bautista number 3.
Hell
I need,
yes.
I need muscle and
Sense of humor.
sense of humor and as time. And
He should be in Roadhouse.
fuck yeah.
Ooh, there you go.
There we go.
Kind of, how old is he?
Probably
Like he's
will be.
I was actually,
Yeah, he probably will be.
you give him Terry Funk's role. He's like the
Yes,
lead
yes,
scary
yes.
gangster because he's an ex-wrestler too. But I would also maybe could tag in John Cena in this role because they seem to be, as time has gone on, they have demonstrated themselves to be the least shitty ex-wrestlers in the game.
Batista is like the only one that can act, I think.
I mean,
yeah.
And can he act?
And
I mean, he's good. He's in.
and he chooses interesting shit to be in.
Yeah, I mean, he said something. He's like, I don't want to be the fucking Rock, and I was like, he's made a
the
claim on
Blade
it.
Runner movie. His
So awesome.
scene is the best scene in the movie, in my opinion.
Yeah, the first
yeah.
scene, it rules.
Yeah.
Amazing. And then a knock at the cabin, snooze fest, except
Except
him.
for Dave, yeah. My number 2, I need a famous Alabamian in the crew, and really there's 4 options here.
Uh-huh.
First 2 options would be Courtney Cox and
Ooh.
Channing Tatum, but they're both Alabama fans, so like fuck off. That would lead me to my that would lead me to my third option, which would be Charles Barkley. But we've already got like a meathead in the crew, so
All right.
that leaves me with my one and only final option for number 2, War Damn Eagle to Octavia Spencer.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Oh man,
Proud daughter of Montgomery, Alabama.
What's up, Ma?
Yeah,
Ma,
Big up,
Ma,
dude.
So
Ma
lit.
rules.
Same
That
thing.
movie is so
So
cool.
fucking
It's so
awesome.
it's so much better than Has Any Right to Be.
Yeah, the trailer
Scary.
made me laugh, and then watching, I was like, "This is actually good."
Yeah, I love that. I think we said it on the episode we did where we talked about Ma, but the fact that some screenwriter was like, "Hey, what if tapping an adult on the shoulder and asking him to buy you booze was a horror movie?"
Oh my God,
and
it really
yeah.
was. And
But she chooses interesting shit. She's always funny in interviews. So anyway,
She's a badass.
Octavia Spencer, and then my number 1. No other option. Number 1 is Danny DeVito. I mean, fucking look, if you're rolling into somewhere with DeVito, people know you're serious. They're like, okay, he's rolling with DeVito, so this guy must be cool.
Very cool.
And again, I'm all about people with stories and people who I don't think would annoy me. I was tempted to put Jeff Goldblum in that number 1 spot, but
Ew.
DeVito's much more down to earth. You know what I mean? So, and he's got.
So how much
Also-
how much forced quirk do you want over lunch? Like, yes, it's going to be delicious.
It's not
sandwich.
even
Yes.
forced quirk. It's like wrap it the fuck up.
Yeah,
Like,
God.
I don't give a fuck if he like sexually assaults me in the slightest way, which is kind of his vibe. But like,
Slinkety,
if
yes,
you're
very
gonna
slinkety.
like flirt with me and be a weirdo, can you make it quick?
Yeah.
Like, just do it quick. Do a drive-by, Goldblum. I don't think you could.
But yeah, it's
Faster, must go faster.
Must
very
go faster. Nice pussy.
Must be a T-shirt that says,
Life finds a way, diddle diddle.
"Hey, diddle
Cat the
diddle."
fiddle. La, 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 la.
Have you
yeah,
seen my jazz trio?
yeah, I have. It's great. But DeVito don't play that shit. You know what I mean? DeVito, you come in, and
He's been a Hollywood player since fucking early '90s.
and I think he's one of. I've said this on the show.
Also,
One of the
he-
most underrated directors of
He
all
made
time.
his marriage work again with Rhea Perlman. They had separation and then they got back in the
They
game. I'm
figured it
so
out.
like, I think anybody who can
Yeah,
step away and then come back, that's pretty cool.
Carter, who do you got for your top 3 celebrities in your inner circle?
I put in my inner circle in quotes.
Yeah.
Carter, you're allowed to have friends. Come on.
I'm allowed to
dude.
have friends, but I don't know if I refer to my friends as my inner circle. It's like
That's
my inner sanct. Like there's like
Wait.
first there's my
That's a-
hanging boys, and then
that's-
there's my boys
that's
that I
a
know.
term, like,
when we're
dudes
making business calls, I called my inner
Yeah.
circle.
That's what guys who like sell drugs to their friends.
Yeah, you got it. Dude, I've been talking to my inner circle a lot, and we're all going to get in on
Yeah, there's something
NFTs.
culty about inner circle.
Yeah.
Put my finger on it.
Dude, yeah, inner circle means like crypto bros is what it sounds like. Okay, I was gonna say I don't know, and being around celebrities is like intimidating. So ones that didn't talk. So like Teller. I would hang out with Teller.
Yeah,
Silent Bob.
Yeah.
Silent Bob. Yeah,
No, I don't want to hang out with Kevin Smith. I saw Kevin Smith when I was doing a tour guide. I was being a tour guide, and I saw Kevin Smith leaving Runyon Canyon. And I was talking about whatever the fuck I was talking about. I was making shit up because I was not equipped for that job. So I was like, I was like, oh, this is Mulholland Drive, and they filmed a movie here called Mulholland. And then I just stopped. I was talking. I was like, that's Kevin Smith. That's Kevin Smith. And everyone in the back had no idea.
I was
who
about
that
to say,
was, 'cause
yeah,
they're
we-
all Gen Z,
yeah,
and like.
we don't know who he is.
And I pointed at him, and then he went, and kind of flick me off. So I don't know if Kevin Smith would be good. But okay.
Teller. I love Teller.
Teller. I don't even know, because then he might just start doing magic.
He needs another guy for that.
I imagine that he's actually one of the most interesting men in the world.
Yeah.
Because when he's not supposed to talk on stage, I guarantee that he is a huge part of the creative direction
100%.
of the two of them behind the scenes.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I bet he's fascinating to talk to. I have a feeling he's doing a lot of cool shit behind the scenes.
I think he's doing the heavy lifting, just because all Penn's I'm a public speaker and I have a radio voice, and he's like
Also-
doing all this shit.
Yeah.
Penn has to be the face of like
Their act, yeah.
He's also like pretty political at times, and he speaks at, like, that is a stress that maybe Teller doesn't want.
Yeah.
He wants to focus on the work that
He's just
they
the
do.
performance.
And
Yeah.
I mean, if I were in that duo, that's how the balance. I think that balance would work, but I don't know what their balance is. But
If I was, and like when you get close with somebody, you got to start like talking shit about people. And I was like, the first thing I do with Teller and me were friends. Are like, what's Penn like?
Annoying.
Piss you off a little bit?
yeah.
You wish you could talk a little bit, right? That'd make Penn jealous.
Yeah. Tell him to shut up about Hayek and the Austrian School
Yeah.
of Economics.
In that same column, I also put Buckethead because he doesn't talk and he was just play guitar.
He just fucking shreds.
I'd be like,
Hell yeah.
I would like fucking throw like I would throw stuff off of his bucket head. And I don't think he reacts to stuff either.
No.
Okay. Weird Al Yankovic.
Ooh,
Be number 2.
great
He
one.
seems really nice.
Seems
Seems really
chill.
funny.
Yep.
He is very nice.
You met him?
I worked for At Midnight. I was a writer on it.
Oh, right, of
for a
course.
while, and I was lucky enough at one point to get to prep him, because you can't have crossover with jokes on the show.
Sure.
Because if people buzz in with the same jokes, you're fucked. So there is
Yeah.
a little bit of preparation. He was just the kindest, most lovely guy, and in the finale, all the writers got like, I think we all had like 5 or 6 people we had to all prep during the finale, and I worked with him a lot, and he was just the easiest person to work with. He knows exactly who he is. He knows exactly what he thinks is funny, and he's right.
Yeah. Like
And-
very specific sense of humor that he nails.
And also, I'm on his email list for Christmas email.
That's so cool.
Oh, shit.
Oh my god, I'm
and
so
he
jealous.
sent me a thank you email
Wow.
after the finale.
Damn.
Like, that's a
considerate.
class act. Like, also, if you're a celebrity, if I'm ever lucky enough to do it, the idea of sending a thank you note or a thank you gift
So cool.
after being on anything, even if it's like the smallest thing, like a podcast, I don't know if I'll send you a thank you note, but I might. Look at that. Now that I've said it, who knows? I know where you live.
I mean, yeah.
But also the fact that like someone,
I,
I could drop it off on
know
your,
it.
I could put it to your car.
just, I do send all of our guests a thank you text. So you're going to be getting one.
Thank you.
that's right.
But yeah, he's as delightful as he seems. He's a class act. He deserves everything good that's coming to him.
He's an icon. He's the best in his field.
Oh, yeah.
Who's a more famous song parodist than him? He seems like a nice guy. He's very funny. Like that Weird Al movie was funny. He's still
It
funny.
was funny,
hell yeah.
wasn't
Dude,
it good?
He's still funny.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's number 2, and the number one, maybe he's number 1. These are interchangeable.
Okay.
I'd say Steve Buscemi. I'd like.
Hey, there you go. Yeah.
know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
Dude, Steve Buscemi.
Similar effect to DeVito, where it's like you roll up with Buscemi and people are like, "Ooh, this is a guy."
People are like, hell yeah. I mean, it's like you're either, he was the head of the show and he's been all these great character parts. And
Fuck yeah! Did you see him on the Adam Sandler Mark Twain Award?
No.
He gave a really fucking hilarious speech where he
Really?
roasted the shit out of Adam Sandler. It was great.
I will say this too, as a side note, not Bill Murray.
No, again.
It's like everyone's like loaded answer is Bill Murray. It's like he
Yeah.
kind of seems like needy. He
Yeah,
seems
yeah.
like needy to be
Well,
loved.
It's kind of the Goldblum thing a bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Or it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
we get it, buddy. Like, you know what I mean? You don't have to crash weddings to get
Well,
people to love you.
It's also pretty clear that there's some dark past with Bill Murray. But
Totally, yeah.
Can I tell you?
Now Brian Doyle Murray. Different situation.
He's like, he's in the closet. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Joel and Brian Doyle Murray.
Can I tell you? I know that we're running long, but I'd love to tell you a Bill Murray positive story.
Yeah.
Okay.
yes.
And I want you to know that just because I'm saying a positive story does not mean that the negative stuff doesn't exist, and doesn't mean that it's not true. But I just want to tell the story.
Yeah.
So he did a movie with Robert Duvall and Sissy Spacek called Get Low. The Steel Drivers did the movie where Bill Murray was playing the mayor of this town. I think it was late 1800s, early 1900s. I can't remember when it exists. It's about a man who a horrible thing happened to the town. And they blame it on him, and he's a hermit, and he's planning his funeral before he dies. And the mayor of the town, who plays Bill Murray, the band that is accompanying the mayor is the Steel Drivers. And it was like in November. It was super cold, and Bill Murray brought like flasks of whiskey to like hand out to the extras who were supposed to play the townspeople. In between takes, he would entertain them, make them laugh. But he was a huge fan of the Steel Drivers because also one of his best friends was John Prine.
Yeah, Chicago guys.
They met in Chicago.
Yep.
So he loves bluegrass. And so Bill Murray would pick up the band in a limo and take them to eat. And he was a huge fan of the band. So years later, Chris Stapleton has moved on from the band. He's still a fan of the band, even without Chris Stapleton.
Sure.
And I think it's South Carolina, I think, is where he lives.
Charleston.
Charleston.
Yeah.
And so the Steel Drivers were playing in Charleston, and he showed up, bought all of the remaining tickets, and handed them out to people on the street to make sure it was packed.
Packed out, yeah.
And he also was on, so the Grand Ole Opry, the Steel Drivers were on with a new singer and stuff, and John Prine. He also played, and then Bill Murray came out and sang with the band and John Prine.
I take it back. I take it back. He sounds great. Hey, I love Bill Murray's movies too.
Yeah.
Here's the thing that I will say. I think that people can. There's duality.
Sure.
All people. I think that
there's
people,
Ghostbusters and there's Razor's Edge,
Yeah, I think that
Strikes and Gutters.
He can be a piece of shit to Gina Davis, which how fucking dare you?
Yeah.
And then you can also be somebody that cares about extras and the crew
Sure.
and people in a movie that's not going to make a ton of money. And then you can also care about music that isn't incredibly, like, you can care about things and be good in some ways and also have a lot of bad behavior in other ways. But so
you can like and nurture the things that you like, and things you don't like, you can really hate.
And then you can get in a fist fight with Chevy Chase, which was awesome.
Well, Chevy Chase is.
That's what I mean. You should have.
Shit.
Yeah,
but
it's like when the T-Rex shows up to eat the Velociraptors
Yeah,
at
I'd
the
love
end.
to know the duality of Chevy Chase, which I think that there isn't. There's things about I 100% believe everyone who says that he was a piece of shit to them, but I also think that there's duality there, and I thought I'd share that.
I also
story.
think, to be fair, I also think that he's like a celebrity that people really want to be friends with. You know what I mean? Like it's not necessarily like, it's just like people come up to him expecting him like, so what, are you gonna like come to like this house party that I'm throwing tonight or what? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I bet a lot is put on him to like make such an appearance, because he has this like kind of folk legend built up around him now, to where like it has to be like, so you're just like a guy who'll just go and hang out with regular people, huh? Well, we're regular people.
What a burden that is.
Right?
Like I love that this idea of him being liking to party with regular people is like this altruistic.
Right, like he's going in
it's
serving.
Like, so you want to be worshipped by the public and also party? Like that's not, you know what I mean?
It's a little needy is what I say. It's like
Yeah, well, there's like the very small version of that Dr. Pat told on the show at one point, which was that the wrestler Hacksaw Jim Duggan would walk into the bar in Melbourne, Florida and go, "Who wants to get hacksaw high?" And then people would be like, "I have weed," and then they would go smoke weed with Hacksaw Jim Duggan by the dumpster, and it was just like he just didn't want to buy weed.
As this Hacksaw staring at the ground, be like, Hacksaw gets sad sometimes.
Yeah, that's literally what it was.
When Hacksaw gets sad, Hacksaw remembers. Also, when Hacksaw is stoned. Hacksaw is very stoned right now.
Hell yeah.
What do you got, Sam, for your top 3 celebrities for your inner circle?
Let's go Snoop Dogg, Lil Wayne, Shaggy 2 Dope.
Fuck yeah. I mean, yeah. Stories all.
Yeah, you got the wild card in there. You got the drug connection.
Wait, which one's the wild card in there?
Fuck.
Is it Wayne?
No, it's Shaggy 2 Dope. What are you fucking thinking?
No, Shaggy 2.
With Shaggy 2 Dope with Snoop Dogg and Lil Wayne.
With like, it's like a Teller thing.
No.
It's like we're trying to break up well-established partnerships. You're trying to be this new Violent J.
I'm gonna go ahead and say Wayne is the wild card there.
Why?
I mean, I feel like Shaggy 2 Dope is too much of a businessman to be
He's not.
a wild card.
He's not.
No? You don't
he's
think so?
not, no.
Okay.
Yeah, he runs a Twitch stream. It's very unprofessional. He talks about crack a lot. He clearly.
Okay, so Violent J is the business.
I think he's the
No,
brains
Violent
man.
J is a heroin addict.
Well,
Between the two of them, Shaggy 2 Dope has his shit together more.
Okay.
Between the 3 of those,
All
Shaggy
right.
2 Dope is a fucking bum.
okay, all right. I just think they're like the most successful.
Snoop Dogg is one of the most famous rappers in the world, probably the famous, could go to any country, be recognized. Lil
Yeah.
Wayne is one of the greatest rappers of all time. Shaggy 2 Dope
Yeah.
is a white guy who paints his face like a clown and tries to rap. He's the wild card.
All
What
right.
the fuck is
All right, you're making me feel dumb. All right.
So is that a whoop whoop?
Yeah, I mean,
Question mark next to it?
I just on paper they are some of the most successful independent artists of all time.
Oh,
So
yeah.
there has to be some business mindedness. Whereas Lil Wayne's just been signed to a major label since he was 15, so he has a lot more leeway to kind of like do wild shit. I feel like, but anyway, no, you're right. Okay, we'll go with that. Emily, what are your top 3
Is it
celebrities?
okay if one of them's dead?
Oh, yeah, of course.
yeah. No, this is whatever you want it to be.
I'm going to go Kathleen Madigan,
Oh, all right.
Oh, man.
my favorite stand-up comedian.
Hell yeah.
Amy Sedaris
Yeah. Oh, of course. Yeah.
Fuck, that's a great one. Yeah.
and Jim Varney.
oh
Jim
shit,
Varney,
Jim
Slinky
Varney.
Dog, man.
Yeah,
Ernest.
hell yeah, Ernest.
Jim Varney is a huge inspiration to me. He is a Nashvilleian
Yeah, yeah.
who his photo is up at the Comedy Store, but it's in a staircase.
Yes, sir.
And I think that's fucking bullshit.
Yeah,
and you're not allowed to stand in
But
the hallway or on
he
that
did
staircase.
stand up.
Seriously.
Los Angeles wasn't for him. He moved back to Nashville. He had a friend who was doing commercials for Purity Dairy, and he created the character of Ernest to do commercials, who's supposed to be your kind of well-intentioned, dim-witted neighbor. And the character took off so much that he started doing commercials for multiple brands, like for local grocery stores, for different. And part of me thinks that he's the reason that non-compete clauses exist in advertising. Because he was doing commercials all over like the Southeast.
Yeah, he
And
became bigger than the brands.
he did, and then he had a sketch show, and then he opened the Florida Disney World. He was the host. Disney
I didn't know that.
made him this huge icon, just funded all these movies that he did, and all from him doing commercials,
Local
for
commercials.
Purity Dairy. Like
Wow.
he's a fucking icon, a Southern legend. I think he's the Southern Pee Wee Herman. I think he's.
I watched the sketch show. They used to show it.
I did
Yeah, it's
too.
amazing.
And
Yeah.
I remember Jenny McCarthy's sketch show, and there were a couple callbacks to his sketch show.
Oh yeah.
There was this like pimple like face thing where you'd spit milk out. I remember there being
I
this.
vaguely remember that.
I vaguely remember Jenny McCarthy doing it, but I mainly remember it because Jim Varney did it. But I adore that character. I think the underdog story of him inspires me to no end, that even if LA doesn't work out for me, I could still maybe go to Nashville and make something happen. Like,
Yeah.
Hell yeah. How old is he too when he made it as Ernest?
that's a very good question.
He was
And
31.
Ernest scared.
He was 31 when he started doing Ernest.
I mean,
We're fucked, guys.
I know, right?
But no, I think that's when he started doing it. But like, my favorite thing about, I love Ernest Scared Stupid. It is my favorite movie of his.
Yeah.
I think it has Eartha Kitt is
Yeah,
in it.
that's right.
It's got tons of heart. I think the practical effects in that movie alone are fucking killer. But the kryptonite to the trolls was purity milk. Isn't that fucking cool? Isn't that cool? He came full circle. Like, I just think he's such a American icon of, I mean, you've got people like Jim Carrey, who I'm obsessed with, who is an underdog in a lot of ways. But this guy became a local hero and then became a national hero. I think that he's just an incredibly important icon, and I hope people don't forget about him.
Hell yeah.
Please don't forget about him. He's so important.
I mean, everyone's going to remember Slinky Dog, though. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
But
Like,
they don't know that that's him.
Yeah.
They don't
Yeah,
know
that's
that,
true. Well,
and
that it's his voice.
I would say shout out to a friend of the show, Travis Clark. His father, Blake Clark, was Jim Varney's opener. And when Jim Varney passed away, Slinky Dog went to his best friend, Blake Clark.
That's wonderful.
Yeah,
Isn't that
so
nice?
keep it going. Yeah. Well, shout out to our friend at Freelance Mikey for that wonderful question. If you have top threes that you would like us to populate and opine upon, please tweet at us at The Goods Pod.
Guess who, Vern? Guess again. That's me, Vern. The old buddy Ernest. And look what I brought you, Vern. Some of that delicious purity chocolate milk. And it's the real thing, Vern. None of that fake stuff. It's the real deal. Made with real chocolate and whole sweet purity milk. You know what, Vern? It's just exactly like Mom used to make. You know what I mean?
Y'all, we have time for just one more segment. And of course, this is our Jam of the Week. Oh, you can hear it now.
Love it.
The pride of Gainesville, Florida, Thomas Petty. And of course,
maybe favorite Tom Petty song.
I mean, it's really good. And
Refugees.
Tom Petty makes
Or The
good
Waiting.
music,
The Waiting's great, too.
but Tom Petty also makes music for morons.
Yeah, and this song especially because I was thinking like the type of person who would hear "You Can Stand Me Up at the Gates of Hell, but I won't back down." What are they going to think about the world? You know, if they think that they are that uncompromising as people. So of course
So this
we're
catchy little melody too.
Yeah.
Just a rebel anthem.
absolutely yeah.
The rebel anthem of a dad fucking working and being in his garage all weekend.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Not
Also,
doing shit.
he fought for copyright and the rights for writers of music.
Yeah, hell
And
yeah.
I feel like this is the anthem for that. Like,
Yeah.
fuck you to record companies.
That's what it's about. But
Right.
don't tell that to the people of YouTube comments because they think it's about vaccines.
Oh, boy.
Jesus Christ,
Oh, boy.
you guys!
All comes back.
It must be exhausting being so wrong all the time.
It's not. Let me tell you, it's not.
I think it is.
I mean, I was just wrong about Lil Wayne and Shaggy 2 Dope, and it feels
I
feeling
bet
fine.
their buttholes are full of hemorrhoids. They're just like being that wrong and fighting for something that is so complicated to justify.
Oh man.
Yeah.
It must make your butthole hurt.
Well, so you'll
It makes your house seem very much a great place to never leave, and you can yell all the
It's
shit
just
from your house.
like release yourself.
well,
Like,
you'll
from
be happy
the
to know
pain.
I've excised almost all of the vaccine stuff. This YouTube.
I'm sure that was some really good shit.
Oh, there was. It was all the same. It was just like I won't back down and I will not take it, and that's it. But
well, you won't BM.
Yeah.
Is what you won't do.
The polyps.
This song, of course, off of the legendary album Full Moon Fever from 1989. It has 42 million views on YouTube, 15,896 comments, and y'all, I have found the best. First up, Kat Bashir's from 8 months ago. Today be the day. Hey, all around us, see what a real bitch is. They don't get my money, and they don't check in my mail by dark. Thieves and cyberbullies, an organized crime ring that are at fault for over 500 teens bullied. They're just a street away. Feel free to come see them, thieves. Keystone Timbers Drive, Conroe, Texas, 77303.
Oh man, Conroe's a piece of shit town.
Well, there she's saying these thieves have bullied 500 teenagers across the street, and now she's saying go steal their shit, thieves.
Okay.
Is what's happening.
We'll do
She's
it.
unleashing thieves onto this place.
What are we doing?
We're just we're taking the temperature of America because here's the
Wait,
thing.
are
you
these
know,
comments?
Yeah, we were reading
Yeah,
the most
yeah.
unhinged YouTube comments
Yeah.
on the video of this
Lord
on YouTube.
have mercy.
Yeah.
Okay, give us
all
another
right.
one.
Next up, the Sneaky Tiki from 5 years ago.
What the fuck? I need more rum. My rum's all gone.
That's the sneakiest of the tiki.
Yeah,
Tom Petty's in hell now, kicking the devil's ass and making it heaven.
for sure.
Hanging out with, and then
I now decree this heaven.
in my mind canon, the devil's been defeated. Tom Petty is the new devil.
Guess what, devil? You live in heaven now.
He's going down on the devil while singing "Running Down a Dream."
Yeah. But
Running
then,
down a demon.
but then
Running down a dream.
the last part makes it very confusing, where he says he's making it heaven, hanging out with dudes like Mark Twain.
Wow.
What?
Heaven sounds boring.
I mean, Mark Twain.
Wait, is he saying Mark Twain's in heaven?
No, he's saying that Tom Petty is in hell. He's defeated Satan, thus making it heaven, but now allowing him to hang out with former residents of hell that are now in heaven.
So he's saying the justification to get into heaven to hell is flawed, man.
He's-
got Mark Twain
No,
and
he's
Tom
saying-
Petty down there.
he's saying
He can
he's-
beat the devil's ass.
Yeah,
None
yeah.
of it matters
in his
the
mind
end.
canon, he has made hell a redundancy.
I think everyone's forgetting about purgatory.
No, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Purgatory is just that's just for people who are like lazy,
No, I think that's for people who are mid. Like
mid grade.
Yeah.
Ignacio Cañas from 2 years ago. This song is in Barnyard with Kevin James and is fucking me up really hard.
Nah, I'm gonna be honest, never heard of that project.
I had to look it up.
I've heard about
what the hell
it,
is
but-
it?
Wait, Barnyard's a Kevin James.
Apparently,
movie?
it's a Kevin James flick, and this is in it.
It must be good. then.
Yeah. Trash Can Man from 7 months ago. Imagine you were playing this while defending your home from looters during the total collapse of your western country during during massive, long-lasting blackouts due to government incompetence.
I wish this during the purge would be lit.
I mean, you know,
Like, do people call this what is it, a pin drop or a
Yeah, mic
record?
drop.
Mic
no,
drop.
it's a record drop. no, it's a
record scratch?
needle drop.
needle drop,
drop.
where
Yeah. Needle
it's
drop.
like this is the song that you play when a fucking crazy thing happens.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like where you're in a bar fight and then a song like happens and it's like the coolest song ever.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I think that the movie Driver is like a great example of
Right.
like pin drop of songs.
The Little Mass booklet from 2 months ago. A song that we have been listening to for 10 years, and which will surely come back to the fore with Guy Ritchie's film The Covenant. I was like,
Wait, what?
Guy,
Does
bring it
he-
back, Guy Ritchie. Bring it
So-
back.
Does he have a film called The
he has a
Covenant?
film coming out called The Covenant that I assume this is in the trailer for the film, and this person is like, oh, glory, people will know about Tom Petty again.
Wait, isn't that the new Jake Gyllenhaal Marine movie?
I have no idea. I just know that this person is suggesting
Anything called
that.
The Covenant, I'm
It's not gonna
immediately
be
like,
good.
Yeah.
yikes.
I just know that.
Sounds boring.
Yeah, this person is suggesting that people have forgotten about Tom Petty, but Guy Ritchie will be the one to bring him back to the fore.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe the guy who
Takes one good movie.
yeah, if he can't bring back Madonna, I don't know.
Papa Bear.
Swept away.
Papa Bear from 2 months ago. You know the gift and the curse about commenting on an old video? No one will see it until I'm dust in the ground. Not telling my story here, but I will say in the heart of the song, don't back down. I did. And now it's my time. Goodbye.
Here's the thing. Okay, first of all,
Papa Bear.
Papa Bears, no!
Papa Bear, you can't be dust in the ground. That's called dirt. So sorry for your dying wish. It's incorrect. Sorry for sciencing your.
Well, I'll tell you just got to go find where Papa Bear is buried.
Dust in the ground.
How can a man's epitaph YouTube comment? How many likes can that get?
I mean,
3 maybe?
You know what they're saying. Apples to apples, dust to dust.
Yeah, apples to apples, mud to fucking mud. Like,
He's like
what do
telling
you
the
do?
hospice nurse, he's like, get me a computer. Get me on YouTube.
Yeah.
Got 2 more here. Kelly,
Wet dust.
Wet dust.
Kelly Rose from 9 days ago. To find my best friend lies to me? I won't back down.
What?
They're vague booking in here. They're vague booking in the comments. Kelly Rose, come on.
Sorry, Kelly. If your best friend lies to you, that really sucks.
Yeah, but like,
Here's the deal. Back down.
yeah. Just back away
Back
from the
down,
friends. Yeah.
Move on.
I will not leave this person alone, even though they keep lying to
that
me.
is, what are you, Banshees of Inisherin?
Banshees of Ed Sheeran.
Fabulous movie, by the way.
Watch it.
And finally, Cody Vincent from 8 years ago.
Cool name.
Why must people hate this? I'm 18 and I love it because it makes sense. And the artists aren't even talking about making money or doing drugs like in that one song, I'm in love with the Coco.
What?
That's a OT Genesis. He should be in my inner circle.
I'm taking applications for my inner circle.
He says, I don't know the name of the song, LOL, but yeah, you can say they do talk about those things, but it's not every damn thing they sing. Just look at Last Dance with Mary Jane. It's about weed, and he said nothing about it in the song.
I love that song.
And Guns N' Roses' song, Mr. Brown, I think that it's only
Mr.
heard
Brownstone?
It's only heard like 2 or 3 times. That's about heroin. Now, to get back to the Coco song, they have this is the Oscar band playing him off the stage.
Yeah. The Oscar, his Oscar acceptance speech is getting cut short.
Put a drop of OT Genesis going, I'm in love with the Coco. Right there. Right
I'm in
there.
love with the Coco.
Now, to get back to the Coco song, they have cocaine, sugar, or something in the video, and I almost forgot that lifestyle song. You can't hear a
He
single
really wants to leave
word.
this comment on the video for Last Dance
I
with
know.
Mary Jane. Like, this is the
Or
wrong
I'm
Tom
in
Petty
love
song.
with the Coco.
Yeah.
Look, we just need to take MTV off the air because that is what killed rock and metal.
Oh, geez.
But you could try to kill it, but rock and metal will live on forever and
Okay,
outlive.
Rob
yeah.
Dyrdek
Yes.
already did it for you.
Yes,
so
he did.
fucking calm down.
I mean,
Also,
literally in one sentence, he says it killed rock and metal, and then rock and metal will never die.
This is also 8 years,
18 straight hours of
years ago.
ridiculous.
8 years ago.
MTV's influence was over
I
Oh,
know.
yeah.
by
My
years and
favorite
years and years.
thing about the Last Dance with Mary Jane. Oh no, wait, that's not the one I'm thinking. I'm thinking of Don't Come Around Here.
Oh, the Alice in Wonderland. yeah.
Because there's cake in it, and I'm like, that's the perfect drug reference. 'Cause it's like I've literally got the munchies, and this woman became cake. But yeah, Last Dance with Mary Jane. How could you get pissed? There's Kim Basinger in it.
I know, right? Oh, yeah. Well, that is our jam of the week. Tom Petty,
Woo!
I Won't Back Down. Emily Fleming, where can people find you
All right.
online?
On Twitter, I am Flemily Emming. I apologize. That's kind of annoying. And on Instagram, I'm M Flemily, EMFLEMILY. And on TikTok, I think I'm Flemily Emming, but, good luck. And also, I would love it if you would go to Mythical Kitchen on YouTube and watch all of the Meals of History series.
Oh, hell yeah.
We have 21 episodes, which I'm very proud of. Please check all of them out. That is probably my magnum opus, or that's like the thing in my career I'm most proud of at this point.
Hell yeah.
Also, please watch Good Mythical Morning. I work very hard writing for that show. I'm lucky enough to be featured on it occasionally. Please check it out. And yeah, I think that's it.
All right. Carter, what do you got?
Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, Carter_Glasscock. I'm on TikTok, that name too.
Sam, where can people find you online?
Slam Harder on TikTok and Twitter. Sam Harder 666 on Instagram.
Nice.
Alrighty. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram. And if you live down south, I'm coming your way. Knoxville, Tennessee. I'll be there on April 18th at Central Cinema Comedy Night. April 21st, I'm going to be in Jonesboro, Arkansas at the Recovery Room, Coffee House and Bistro with my friend Allison MacArthur. April 25th, Atlanta, Georgia, Battle and Brew Video Game Restaurant with my buddy Joe Pettis. And on April 29th, I'm going to be in my hometown of Auburn, Alabama at the Coffee Cat with my friend Nico Brook and more TBA. So come see me. You can find our show on Twitter at The Goods Pod. Every episode ever, youtube.com/TheGoodsPod. Best way to support this show, head to patreon.com/TheGoodsPod. Second best way to support this show, head to Apple Podcasts, rate, review, and subscribe. Show the attitude of gratitude, because if you do not have the attitude of gratitude, Daddy, the Bell Witch is knocking at your door.
The
The Goods from the Woods was recorded and edited by me, Rivers Langley. You can find our show on Twitter at The Goods Pod. Our theme song was composed by Jonas, the Space Cowboy.
This was a Brain Freeze podcast.